Welcome back, everyone. Firstly, I want to use this opportunity to thank every single one of you who have been trying your best to dedicate the time, the opportunity to listen to the podcast show, The School of Heritage. And also, I want to use this opportunity to thank every single guest who have dedicated their time, who have tried their best to spend the moment and also tried their best to support in one way or the other to make the podcast show a successful one. You guys have been the one that have always shown me the love and the motivation, and you guys have been the one that have inspired me to continue to do the great work I'm doing for the good of the society. Also, I want to drive to the point whereby I said I need you guys' prayer. I need you guys' prayer again, and I also need you guys' heart because it is not easy for me at this time. It has been a really, really huge, tough journey, and I'm trying my best with every power I can to try my best to get the podcast on board and actually learned a lot of lessons by the way and trying to fix it, which would take a lot of time before it actually start to take shape. Also, I would like to dive to the point of our discussion today, which drive to my introduction to the point whereby I speak about 5 episodes that I think you guys can try your best to check out and listen to. Then we end with the observation for the week. Also, I want to use this opportunity to encourage every single one of you who haven't listened to the School of Heritage to try. Just try. Every single episode lasts for 20 to 30 minutes, and you will deeply be inspired in one way or the other. My name is Temitope Adegoke, and I am the focus host of the School of Heritage. The School of Heritage is a self-improvement and a education podcast show, which is dedicated to personal growth and healing. The world is wounded. A lot of people are now in a point whereby they are isolated. How can I improve my life? How can I get to also meet people and also learn from new people around the world, from the experience they've had when it comes to their personal growth journey and the healing process that they can do to also improve their way? The podcast of the School of Heritage has come into place to help you with that. Every single week, I try to bring out guests to in 20 to 30 minutes for them to have this sense of a topic of discussion, whether they are an author, whether they're a coach, whether they're consultants, whether they're professors, but they've come out and they've said, I want to impact people's life in one way or the other. I bring them to my show and I bring them out for every single one of you to listen to them in 20 to 30 minutes to gain one or two things and to also get to know them better and also develop the kind of positivity that we need in our time today. Also, I'll be driving to 5 episodes that I think from the episode that I've published, a lot of episodes that I think that you guys can be impacted in one way or the other. And one of the episodes that I think I would like to drive to, the first one is Dr. Jody. Dr. Jody, who is a person who is dedicated to one thing, empowering women. Women are in a place whereby I do know that women is not all women, but I think some women are in a position whereby they are really, really embracive. They are kind, they are humble, and they usually understand. And these are the kind of women that Dr. Jody try her best to empower, to put them in the position whereby they can handle tremendous, huge projects. Because for a woman to be leading, it is not easy. It is absolutely different from a man who is leading. And how can a woman actually try her best to also see every woman like her because she teached in the university. I think she's still teaching. She's I think a professor currently. So she's someone that have those huge experience. So for someone like that to be in the position to actually make you guys understand how you can lead with courage, how you can live with purpose, how you can lead with reason, and how you can actually conquer every single thing that come by the way when you are leading. Mrs. Dr. Jody really drives to those perspectives. So if you want to listen to the episode, the name of the episode is on the screen right there. You can check out the episode and learn one or two things from Dr. Jody. Also, I've had this episode a long time ago, Mr. Wissam. Mr. Wisdom is a man, our discussion, I usually say it very well, is one of the most sensitive discussion that we have, that I will have on my podcast show rather. It is very sensitive to the point whereby we need wisdom. And how can we use this wisdom? I can be so intelligent. Anybody can be so intelligent, but if we are not wise, that's intelligence. Someone else will use it for us. Someone else will use it to make tremendous wealth. Someone else will use it to be prosperous. And that is what Mr. Wisdom drives us to. It drives us on how we can apply wisdom on everything we do. We do not need to know everything before we can actually use it to become more productive in the society. It only takes us to be wise enough. The world has changed. We're now in the world whereby even artificial intelligence is making things more easier for us. And how can we try our best to use the sense of wisdom to actually conquer every single thing that we have by our way? Because intelligence is there. I can be intelligent than anything, but the wisdom is the most important ingredient that will help us. Very important ingredient that will help us to understand better how we can execute those things we know to become productive in the society. And that is where Mr. Wisdom drive to. He explained it better, and he actually made us understand how we can also be productive with the wisdom that we have. Everything is not intelligence. Everything is not I know this. It applies with the wisdom and the change of the surrounding we find around us currently. Also, I want to talk about Mrs. Acenturo. Mrs. Robin is someone that was very, very profoundly nice. She's an elderly woman. She's a woman who have lost her husband. She's a woman who lost her husband a long time ago. Very kind and humble kind of person. But she drive through the point of building community, building humanity. We are all one, and she drive the sense of building humanity, of connection in one word. And I love what she said when we were having our conversation. This was a long time ago. She said Jesus was the last teacher that actually came in. And when they say someone is the last teacher that actually came in, we have a lot of teachers. We have a lot of spiritual healers. And it has really helped us in many, many ways. We have the Buddhists, we have a lot, the Jews and others. And how can we apply it to our spiritual life to get healed? How can we also live a life of humanity? Every single thing that causes division in our time today is one thing caused division: lack of understanding, lack of understanding of our background, lack of understanding of our culture. Those things are really sensitive in our time today. We have to try our best before we jump into conclusion. Let us try our best to take the time to show the sense of humanity, to show the sense of connection, to show the sense of love and kindness, no matter how the person is, no matter how the person reacts. We have to keep it slow and peace so that we can bring out something that is more productive and also more inspiring in its own way. Also, I would like to drive to the point of Dr. Sarah. Dr. Sarah is someone that I really respect. Dr. Sarah Young was one of the person who I was so happy that I really had on my podcast show, and she drive into the point of brain injury. Brain injury is very huge. And how can we try our best to also take care of our brain injury and also use it in a very huge and profound way? Brain is very sensitive. And how can we be of a healing process with it? Because she was a person who had brain issue during her early stage in life, and a person who had a brain issue in her early stage in life, she do understand how brain issue can affect one activity, how it can affect one to even do a lot of things that are not meant to be done. And that is why she come in. She realized a healing process. Despite any person you have connected with, or anybody you do know, or is that you do know or you are connected with, that has a very huge brain issue, she brought out some powerful techniques, very, very powerful techniques that actually worked for her. And she wants you guys to also learn some simple technique that you guys can also apply to become a genius when it comes to brain injury, because brain injury is huge, very huge, and it makes one really, really humble. It makes one understand the depth of pain, because I also realized a lot of things. That is one of the observation for the week I will really drive to when we are done with our discussion with her in the episode. So she really dives to the point of how you can heal your brain. How can you, if you are injured in your brain, how can there be a holistic way to heal from those brain injury? It is a very beautiful episode, to be honest with you. You will learn something. At least you might not be the one who has the brain injury. I do not know if I will have a brain injury tomorrow. I've learned something from her. And also, we might have colleagues, friends that might have this kind of situation. She's really someone that actually brought out a lot of perspective in those areas. Also, lastly, I would like to talk about Mr. Saro. Mr. Saro is someone that I really, really respect. He's a cinematographer, and I had the opportunity to speak to him because of one thing, his book. So he published the book, so I had the opportunity to just bring him into my podcast show and also discuss a lot of things, because there are a lot of huge questions we need to ask ourselves in our time today. In our world today, it is really, really hard. And how can we ask ourselves the questions that can really make us humble, that can make us live with humor, that can also make us live with humility? And that is where Mr. Saru drive to. Mr. Vadebajan, I think, yeah, that is his name. So Mr. Saru really drive to this perspective of how we can ask big questions. He's once a Christian, but he's a man that actually have a lot of things that is done, and also he actually learned a lot, and he have used this thing that he learned spiritually and also physically, and bring it for every single one of us in 20 to 30 minutes. It brought out a lot of perspective that we can use to learn, we can use to be impacted, and we can also use to grow in one way or the other. So I definitely encourage you, if you want to learn more about the big, big questions you think you can ask when it comes to humor, when it comes to wonder, when it comes to heart, when it comes to humility, when it comes to nature, and when it comes to the kindness of the world that we find ourselves, it is a very, very interesting and profound, attractive conversation that we 100% had. Also, despite this 5 episode I spoke about the guests that I spoke about currently now, I want to encourage every single one of you to please, I do not know, but try to listen to the podcast show. It is there for every single one of you. I am just the middleman. The middleman is the one who is just coming in to give you guys the episode. I want you guys to learn. I am not the one speaking. The guests are the ones speaking. And that is why I want you guys to be impacted and also learn and also grow with these people, so that we can make the world more profoundly positive, and also make this world more stronger and heal from the damage that's had in recent years. Also, I want to thank every single ones who have actually been taking their time to listen to the podcast show, who have been taking their time at least 20 to 30 minutes to learn one or two things from every single other guest right at the front of them. It is 100%. I 100% appreciate every single one of you. Also, if you have any question, if there is anything you would like me to ask, or any question that you think will help I as the podcast ghost or the podcast show as well, I 100% plead with every single one of you to please try to ask. Try to ask, because we also want to grow. I also want to grow. I've realized a lot when it comes to building something like a podcast. I think when it comes to the media, it is more sensitive to build a lot of things like this. And I'm starting to realize a lot of things. And this thing I am realizing, I am trying to realize that we're in a position whereby we need to start to build trust. I think no matter what we are building on earth, let us try our best to know how we can build trust with it. It is not going to be easy, but let us try our best to know how we can actually make people understand that we are actually the person who is actually bringing out this impact, who is actually making the world a better place at large. I 100% encourage and plead with every single one of you, because the observation for the week, as I've said, is really, really not easy, and also really, really uneasy and tough for me. And what I've just realized, and I want to encourage every single one of you, I said earlier, whether you are doing anything or you are building something, just let people to know that this person I want to work with or do something with is someone I really, really, I think has done a lot of great things. And that is why no matter what we are doing, let us put our heart into it. Let us put our dedication into it. Don't let us see it as something that is not necessary. We know we are. I know we are in a world whereby we need money. Money is not unnecessary. Money gets attracted to those who are actually putting the work into it. So if we are dedicated, even if what we are doing is free, even if what we are doing is actually profoundly impactful, so far it is actually touching people's life. When the time comes, you will start to get what you want from it. Money starts to get attractive and things start to come in, and you start to learn along the way. And that's what happened to me. I learned along the way, and I realized a lot that, okay, it is really tough for me. For the past recent week, I've been having a lot of financial dilemma, and I'm also having issues with the guests I've had. I've had a lot of guests I'm unable to publish. I had to do a lot of things. I'm trying to get the channel and everything. So just be in place. And how can I go about this? What can I plan? Is I have to register for this. I started realizing all this damage, and I'm like, oh my god. I never knew that this was really, really tough and hard to this point, because I was only running something that I felt like I am impacting the people, I am impacting the people's life, I am improving people's life. I didn't know that it is something that will get so tremendously tough when it gets to a time when it comes to credibility and trust. And that is what I want to try my best. And I also want to encourage every single one of you to also put in place and also try your best to be kind to people. And also, if you take any action in your life, so far it is a profound and good decision. Just do it and also accept it, by the way. It might not go well for you, but it is something that you felt you did, and it is not something bad or terrible. You are doing a great thing. I had a lot of experience during the recent months, and I have to say, I do know that life can be really, really hard sometimes. And I really pick, I'm a bit wise. I think I also know that through the help of Christ and our Mother Mary. So I do know how it is. And it is something that I felt like we have to just try our best to do what we know we can. If nothing doesn't go right, we move on and we continue to strive for the best. Also, I want to say we'll see next Sunday. We have a profound discussion next Sunday, and we'll actually come back again, show the sense of love, gratitude, and honor that every single one of us have been given to each other. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.